You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Gene.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Miriam Lass and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's Hannibal After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Hannibal After Show.
Oh, yeah. Welcome to the Joe Sanfelippo.
These are people who died.
Welcome to AFTERBUZZ Hannibal After Show. Thanks for joining us. That lovely music is that of music that Joe Sanfelippo chose, which is called the what, Joe Sanfelippo?
I don't remember. These are people who died. Is the Jim who?
I don't know.
What's the name of the band?
The Jim Carroll Band.
The Jim Carroll Band.
Because people died.
These are people who died.
All right.
Died.
That's right.
Oh, we lost the good doctor.
Very
relevant.
Yes.
Relevant.
No, very, very relevant. People did die in this episode. A lot of people died. Well, Dr. Crap Weasel himself is dead.
Well, I missed the crap weasel already.
Yeah, my man Raúl Esparza, I miss him. In that great performance.
I've been loving him this entire season.
He's been killing it, right?
I didn't see it coming.
Yeah, I didn't see it coming either. We'll get to that in a second.
Yeah, because it flips the whole thing.
The Crap Weasel's, Dr. Chilton, the Crap Weasel's dead. Will is free. Miriam Lass is free. Dr. Gideon's dead. Hannibal's on the loose. Alana Bloom is delusional. Jack seems to have come around.
To quote my friend Joe Braswell, Ish is jumping off. I don't say Ish because I can't say any other bad words.
And Will and Hannibal are back to normal.
Yeah, we're all copacetic.
Or so it seems.
Or so it seems. That voice of what was that voice? I think that's Nando over there.
That's me.
How are you doing, sir?
Well, I'm a little sick.
It's kind of sexy.
All right.
Thank you.
Talk more.
I lost the beard and I gained the voice.
All right.
I can't get it straight. It's one or the other.
All right. And over here, the voice that's still there is Joe Sanfelippo.
How you guys doing?
Oh, I'm fine. How are you?
Was it Kathleen Turner? That's who you sound like. You sound like Kathleen Turner. It took me a while
Don't hit
to
on
figure
me,
it.
Joe.
I won't. Although
I'm telling you, the voice is irresistible, Nando. Irresistible.
Only hotter?
No, I didn't say only hot.
I said that.
Oh,
Julia, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you very much. How are you?
I'm fantastic.
Hi, everybody.
I'm me, Joe Braswell. And wait, Marissa, is that you in there?
is that Marissa Serafini?
Yes, it is. Hello.
Best producer in the business.
Aw,
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Now that we're all here, let's talk about Hannibal, man. Yakimono? Joe Sanfelippo, what's
Let's talk
Yakimono?
about it.
Yakimono is grilled and pan-fried dishes. The principal ingredients of yakimono, or grilled foods, are fish, shellfish, meats, and vegetables. Foods are pierced with a skewer or placed on a wire net and grilled over an open fire. Yakimono may also be made using an iron skillet or even an oven broiler. The basic type of yakimono is shoyayaki, which is salt is sprinkled over the food before grilling.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
That was You're welcome. Thank you for that. So yeah, Yakimono. Man, so lots happened. We have a full transformation in this episode. This is definitely the halfway point, the midway point of the season. So we had a full shift. We had a full shift. Will is out a lot sooner than I thought he would be.
Yeah.
I thought he'd be out the end of the season. He's out now. Not only is he out, but he's back as you pointed out, Nando, with Hannibal resuming their therapy and resuming their sort of chess game, their mental chess game. We saw what happened to Miriam, which we'll get into. Miriam comes out. She's clearly not in her right mind. Clearly brainwashed. Will's out, Gideon's dead, and poor Dr. Chilton. I thought for sure someone Vanilla Cupcake hit me up and was like, he's gonna die. I'm like, he can't die because he's a central character in Hannibal. He's a central character in Silence of the Lamb. He's a central character in Red Dragon. And, but Brian Fuller proves he's not afraid to go off canon.
Yeah, we've learned some stuff. All the assumptions that we've had going in, all this like, well, we know that that's all gone.
Because Katz is gone and she's around, and now Chilton's gone. So now
maybe Hannibal will die.
I mean,
Who knows?
Who knows? We're on our toes.
Oh my God.
What did you think of this episode?
Maybe Chilton has a twin brother. Or
Maybe he
something.
does.
Yeah.
What did you think of this episode?
Oh,
Nando?
I mean, pretty much just the passion in your voice.
Yes.
If I had your voice, I would echo that because it was, I loved it. So, like we said, so much has happened this episode. It's great to see. You know, it's funny. Maybe I should save this for predictions, but it just hit me right before I saw the episode. I'm like, I should have said this last week, but it's looking like it's true. Miriam's gonna play a central part these next couple of episodes, I'm sure. It's amazing to have her back. It's amazing to see Will finally gone. I'm really sad about Chilton, but what a way to go! What a chess game! What a plot! I don't know. It's just so much to say, and I should save my voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joe Flippo?
I want to talk about Anna Klumsky for a second. She brings so much gravity to all this. Like her portrayal, like everybody else, I think we've gotten used to. We've gotten used to Will suffering. We've gotten used to poor Will. We've gotten used to Hannibal being so the smartest guy in the room and so cold and marble and so out 10 feet ahead of everybody. And we've gotten so accustomed to him being able to pull this stuff off as the Chesapeake Ripper that we're not even questioning how in the time that Chilton goes to work and comes back, he has assembled his entire thing all by himself in his spaceman spiff suit, because we completely expect that Hannibal can do this. And we've gotten used to Jack being Jack, and we've gotten used to all these other characters, but Anna Klumsky comes in, and as Miriam brings in this vulnerability and this earnestness and this suffering that I think puts a real, it makes it much more personal, and it makes it all feel much more real. Because we're not used to it. Maybe it's because it's new, but it feels very real to me.
Well, I'm not taking anything away from the performance that that Will and Hannibal are doing, but I agree with you. Like, it's a great performance, and it is definitely something chilling about her sweet giant eyes and and her sort of wonder and terror all mixed into one. It's really chilling. Julie, what do you think of this?
I, of course, adored this episode. I was shocked, mouth agape the whole time. I agree. I love the addition of Miriam Lass back in the mix of things. She's a loose cannon. She's unpredictable. We have no idea what she's been through. So I think we'll see amazing things come from her. I was loving our boy Will in this episode. You know, he's free now, and he has this air about him of he's determined, he's resolved, and there's a little bit of cockiness to it, because I think he was really broken down by the death of Beverly, and now he is just pure resolve. I think he has a plan. I'm sure he has a plan. He must have a plan.
Right.
And now he's out to exact that plan, and he is going to dive deep, and he is going to try to outsmart Hannibal. So I'm excited to see where that goes.
You know, you bring a good point. When it's all said and done, and we talked about this last season, but we haven't really, did this drum this season is bang Hugh Dancy, man, like this is Emmy worthy, Golden Globe worthy stuff. I mean, this is a great performance. And if you think about the depth of what Will Graham, again, taking care of that we already know and has already been played by, great with great fanfare by William Patterson and Ed Norton. Like he's doing great stuff here, from the confusion, or is he crazy, isn't he, to his internal, like he says so much with what his face and what he's maybe thinking, and his turmoil, his anguish, to his revenge, to his plotting. It's all on his face, and for him to come out of it and where he is now, we're only in episode 7. I'm just really love this performance. I think that we don't give him enough props, but I thought the episode was fantastic. It's just everything that you want a Hannibal episode to be. And if you haven't seen the show, if you don't know anything about the show, and this is sort of the only episode you saw, you get it all in terms of like mood and texture and sort of twist and getting set back to where we were at the beginning. I think this is the best of what the show has to offer. So that's what I think. But what the hell do I know? Flippo.
I don't know. Nothing.
So let's talk about what happened. So we get this. We get Will released, which was the first thing. He's out. Like, he finds out that he's out, and the first person who was there to greet him is Jack. And it was really sort of like an apologetic Jack. But before that, I want to jump back to we have the meeting with Jack and Miriam Lass, which was also chilling, because we got to sort of get to the bottom of where she's been and who was her captor and what does she know? Because I thought maybe she's lobotomized, maybe she doesn't remember anything, but she seemed pretty lucid. Like in all, I didn't expect her to be brainwashed to that extent, but she clearly was completely brainwashed.
I question whether or not she's brainwashed. I mean, in a classical sense, like there's a classical sense of brainwash. We all understand it. We understand from TV and my theoretical. Anyway, but I think what he's done to her, it sounds like, is basically with the lights and he's probably used a recording of Chilton speaking. So he's probably just with the lights and the recording. I don't know if that's brainwashing. I mean, it seems to me like brainwashing would be like she would be on Hannibal's team against Chilton. But I think what he's basically done is been able to convince her that it was Chilton, but not necessarily that you know what I'm saying? Brainwashing implies to me that she would become Hannibal's ally. And I don't think she's Hannibal's ally. I think she's just Hannibal's alibi.
I don't know. I mean, this is a woman who went to Hannibal's lair, his office, saw the picture, the painting, the drawing, if you will, figured it out like with her own brain. Oh, Hannibal's the killer. Then got, and then she woke up and like, yeah, I don't know what happened. I don't remember anything. Like that is not, that's a brainwash to me. I mean, I don't argue with you about brainwashing, but I see your point.
You may be right. You may be right.
Brainwashing, part master trickery.
Yeah.
How about that?
Well, so we see. I mean, I don't know, but in any event, we see that. So when Jack, really has the opportunity to question her and ask her how she was and how upset she got, and all these things. When she went and had that, got to hear Hannibal's voice. And she's like, nope, that's not him, which I kind of knew would happen, but it was like, well, what the hell? What the hell happened in there? And so that was, you can see that Hannibal really has plotted this thing way out in advance.
Yeah, it really showed the scope of this master design of his.
But I think it was a little too, there was some luck involved. Obviously, because...
In what respect? Because it's all planned to me.
Well, in the respect that I don't think he had it planned out perfectly, that Miriam was going to be, at the end, Miriam was going to be in the room, listening to Chilton's voice and take a gun away from Jack to shoot him through.
Oh yeah, well that would be the thing, right? So so killing Chilton may not have been the deal.
Oh yeah,
framing Chilton was definitely the deal, but having him be killed by Miriam.
No, that wasn't part of the plan.
That's just
that was just
that's just lucky hackumstance.
That's just like makes it look incredibly masterful, but there's a little bit of there's a little bit of a.
But what else would he expect? He spent 2 years brainwashing her / master trickering her.
Mastery trickery
conditioning her to think that it's Dr. Chilton. Of course, her initial response will be to lash out irrationally, shall we say?
Sure, but I think that if Hannibal gets Chilton, irrefutable evidence that this guy's a Chesapeake Ripper, then mission accomplished.
Yeah.
If the FBI comes in and gets Chilton, especially who knows? I mean, maybe they'll shoot him because all the horrific things he's done to their fellow FBI agents, especially that last bit. If he's caught, like Jack was like. At the end, he's like, he's got a gun. Jack's like, good. Because they want him dead, and that was the plan all along.
That is my only problem with this episode. The only thing I have a problem with this show, basically, is that it seems like the guys flip too easily. Like they were all done with Will instantly as soon as the evidence pointed at Will. They're like, screw him. And then as soon as the evidence pointed at Chilton, they're like, screw him. So I mean, that's the only thing that about the show that I kind of like go, come on.
I know, but you have the benefit of being like you watching the television has the benefit of being the smartest guy in the room, knowing all the answers. If you're living this,
and that's a hard thing to say.
It's a hard thing to say. If you're living this,
that's mean spirited. That's mean spirited from both of you.
Because if you're like, I'm watching the TV.
I'm not liking either guy on this side of the room.
Why don't these guys figure this thing out? I'm Joe Flippo.
No, what I'm saying is,
I turned on the television.
Now wait a second. You work with someone over and over and over again over a period of years. Then I have a difficult time with imagining that you flip that quickly, especially after you've been proven so glaringly wrong the first time.
But you do and you don't. First of all, Alana Bloom did not flip that easily. Neither did Jack. But there's overwhelming, irrefutable evidence that Will is the Ripper. There's DNA. There's hair. There's so many things that says Will is the Ripper, including an ear that he coughed up. At some point, you're like, I don't know if he's the guy. I mean, even if you don't want to believe it, the overwhelming evidence is to the contrary.
But I agree with what you're saying. After going through that exactly irrefutable evidence, coughing up an ear, we were convinced it's him, and they were proven wrong.
Right.
So you think this next time, irrefutable evidence, all these things coming at them, they're so convinced. You think they would take an extra second
show you that
say, we were proven wrong
All I'm saying is
before.
that the BAU guys should be a little more cautious in jumping, running something up a flagpole that fast.
But here's the thing that we have to understand. Jack, pretty much when he met Will, said, I didn't put my faith in you. I'm putting it in you now. I'm listening. But this perfectly shows that he says he's listening, but he's really not listening. It's the perfect thing to say that Jack says he's 100% on Will's team, but he's still not. He's still not there.
I disagree. I think you guys are missing that Jack is a guy who's struggling with the rational side of Jack, which is the guy who follows the evidence in front of him, and the dwindling emotional side of Jack, instinctive side of Jack, which wants to believe. Because at the beginning of the episode with Miriam said, like, nope, he's not the guy. And so he goes to Will and goes, Will, we found Miriam and this is what happened, and I apologize to you because I was wrong about you, but Miriam says that Hannibal's not the guy. And Will says, do you believe him? And she says no, and he says no. Now, I mean, that shows right there that Jack is willing to suspend his own logic, because this is Miriam saying Hannibal's not the guy.
But then why would he believe Miriam the second time?
Here's the thing. The second, because he does have overwhelming evidence that points in Chilton's direction. But when Will called Jack didn't bring the cavalry. He didn't bring the whole FBI. He came alone. He's like, okay, I'll come alone. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt.
We don't want death by cop.
Where is he?
We don't want death by cop. That's the following's job. That's not
but Jack did say he was pissed. But he's like, where is he? I want to see for myself. He didn't. Will called Jack, and Jack didn't bring everyone in there.
Well, here's the other thing that I think Jack is oblivious to, and this is what kills me. Miriam has been captive for over 2 years, and she even said, I was treated nice. Until I was put in a well, I was treated nice. Who's to say she doesn't have Stockholm Syndrome?
That's the other thing. We said that last week. Yeah, it probably has Stockholm Syndrome like a maniac.
Well, I think we are jumping the gun a bit because we do not know what Jack believes or doesn't believe until the next episode. We know that Jack went to go find Chilton, and then Chilton ran, and Jack chased after him.
I don't know, he looked pretty pissed.
Well, he was pissed because he just came back from 2 FBI agents, totally murdered, and he's got all this evidence pointing directly to Chilton.
They were not partially murdered. They were totally murdered.
Totally
100% murdered.
Totally murdered.
They were like, totally murdered. The one guy was like, way murdered.
He was so murdered.
So murdered.
He came from that. He came from all, and then again, you talk about the profile. You got to be confused. If you're Jack, think about this. The profile fits Hannibal Lecter perfectly, but as Chilton said, it also fits Chilton even more perfectly. In fact, Chilton was involved. Like I said, with all these. It was a one thread that supersedes Hannibal. Chilton's a guy who is the real running thread through everything here, and it makes the most sense. And Jack's got to be going like, God, how did I miss Chilton?
But here's the thing: Chilton was so wounded, he was so badly hurt, and so rearranged by Gideon. So here's my question: would this have held up over a deeper examination before Miriam Lass shot him in the face? Would this
Probably
have held
not.
up? Because I don't see how in the hell a guy who was laid up in a hospital could be planting a dude in a tree, or a tree in a dude, however that worked out, and physically able to move all this stuff around. You got to be in shape.
But then, you know what? Then Chilton would have been in prison, and Hannibal would have possibly found a way to get him there before they found out anything. That's why he wanted him to run.
That's a good point, though, Flippo. I think that I think the primary objective of Hannibal clearly was to frame Chilton as the Chesapeake Ripper and have whatever Chilton's reaction was. I'd run if I were you, and maybe he'd run, maybe he wanted death by cop, maybe he didn't want to get that far. He clearly didn't want him to get far enough to go to trial and to be closely examined and to be questioned. And it went a different route with Miriam Lass killing him, but the result was the same.
Here's an interesting thought that I just want to throw out there. It's not a theory or anything, but just the planning that went into this elaborate scheme to frame somebody else and to throw suspicion off of Hannibal, and just to end it with Hannibal and Will in that position, just back in their original roles. It feels to me like this could have been something why waste this type of energy just to fool the cops and then stay where you're at? This is an escape plan. This is not because he's going to kill again.
Well, then it calls into question. Then we're back to what is Hannibal's overarching motive for all this? And if the motive is. If it's two or three part motive, right? If motive one is I enjoy killing people, that's a lot of fun for me, so I like doing it. But then if you go a little deeper, because he's bored with that, I would imagine at some point, and he's got Will, who he's said over and over again that he's his friend, and so maybe he's trying to convince Will, or this has all been hey, I'm helping Will become what he can become. I'm convinced he can become this. Maybe that's the deal.
But all this started before he knew Will.
Yeah, I'm saying that over time his motivation changed. I would imagine.
I will say, seeing Will hold the gun up to Hannibal that second, that this
and
week,
then choosing not to shoot him,
but the look in his eyes, it almost felt like Hannibal does want him eventually to have that instinct. He almost wants like a protege. After this, it really was starting to. It looked really creepy, that whole scene.
I think, just to back up,
he was becoming him.
Back to his motivations, back to his master plan. I really think that Hannibal is a guy who has just such arrogance and hubris. He prides himself on just being able to toy with, being the smartest guy in the room. He wants to toy with the FBI. He repeatedly is like, just when you guys thought you got it figured out, Jack, you got it figured out? Okay, good. Now I'm gonna, undo everything you thought was possible and then spring Will free. If you got it figured out now, okay, now I'm going to do this. And he continually likes to get himself in these situations and then get himself out. And like Will said, this is a guy who's been caught before. He will not get caught again. He won't get caught in the same way. Like, he's too smart for that. I think he likes the idea of not only, it's not enough for Hannibal to keep himself out of danger. He's got to keep himself out of danger and let you know, in a very grand way, that I can do whatever I want and I'm still untouchable. Like, that's part of his game. And then while he's doing that, he still wants a relationship with Will. He wants to see what happens. This is a guy who's a hyper intelligent guy who, frankly, whatever, composing harpsichord, music and being a psychologist and a master chef is not good enough for him. So this is a guy who's, who wants more.
Well, he did say, that there's that great line in the torture shack, and I think that was, I don't know if it was last episode or this episode, that Will has, "This is all my design." And that is Hannibal's overarching, the whole thing is his masterwork, is his opus, right? Is his magnum opus, is this enormous thing. So it's not one murder at a time. Those are little movements in his concerto, right? The whole overarching thing is the murder, are the murders in total, and then the game he's playing with the FBI and with Will and with Chilton. And so the question is, like, I guess to me is, what's the end game with Will, and what is Will doing now when he had the opportunity again to shoot him, could have ended it. Well, at some point, what is Will's game now? Is he determined now at this point to out Hannibal? Is he gonna?
I think so. I think Will said it. That was a very, very telling moment. In that moment when Will came out of complete rage, gun to his head, taking the power away from Hannibal, like, okay, this is it. But Hannibal got him. Hannibal got him in the only way that he can get Will. He's like, well, you could kill me, but then you'll never know what happens.
Yeah.
And then and Will is like, God, okay, let's play this game out. Like, that's what he wants to. Like, Will's another Hannibal,
and so,
like, he wants to play this thing out. This isn't about like I can't do it.
And you got
it wasn't about that.
And we got to be realistic about what the consequences of choosing not to shoot him are. You are not the hero right now, Will, because if you chose to shoot him, Gideon wouldn't have died. Neither would Chilton. Neither would whoever else Hannibal's going to kill going forward. No, this is true. If you know that Hannibal Lecter is the Chesapeake Ripper, and you choose not to shoot him, despite whatever would have happened to you, all that notwithstanding, right? If you're the hero, you shoot him because you're saving lives. No matter how you cut it, he's going to kill a bunch more people. So if you choose not to shoot him, then you're saying you're taking hubris and pride that I'm going to beat you at your own game. That goes beyond my duty as the hero in this piece to end you, because that's the greater good. Does that make sense?
That makes complete sense,
Yeah.
and I do agree with that to a certain degree. But at the same time, there's got to be a small calculation in. If I just got out of jail, if I kill this guy in cold blood, maybe there's evidence, maybe there's not. I'm a murderer. I need some evidence first. I know in my heart of hearts and my soul of soul that this is the guy, but I can't just roll up and shoot him.
Let me ask you a question. Would you expect Luke Skywalker to just, even if he's going to die, but at the same time he's going to get Darth Vader, you'd expect him to do it, right? You have every expectation that the hero would sacrifice himself for the greater good.
Yes. But
I'm just saying.
All right, but this is...
Will did not jump on the grenade, and this whole platoon might get blown up. Okay. I don't know how many more analogies I can come up with. But those are two.
That's a whole... Will's not the character who's going to shoot Hannibal and shoot himself and save the world. I don't think that's where Will's coming from. Although I'm
just saying to you that clearly not.
I do want to move on. I want to move on and talk about Alana Bloom for a second. I'm looking at you because you're the only woman here.
Oh.
Exactly.
Congratulations.
Despite never mind.
She's really doing us proud.
He's got Kathleen Turner right next to him. But I want to talk to her.
What is the deal? What is the deal with Alana Bloom? It's my bad sign.
Worst therapist
worst.
on the planet.
She is, honest to God, the worst. I've been such a fan of hers this entire show, last season, this season, but she is so dumb.
Well,
Come on.
That's it. She's an idiot.
Like, she...
I don't.
She-
It is strange to me that she was so. First of all, she's a brilliant psychiatrist and smart in her own right, but that she would fall so hard for Will, given all the evidence, and then flip and then fall so hard in the other direction for Hannibal.
Week. Yeah, I said the exact same thing last week. She was so willing just to 100% defend the man she loves, pretty
Right.
much blindly, completely blindly, no matter what else anybody is saying around her. I don't care. I love him. I believe him.
Did she and Will ever go to bed? I don't remember. No, they never.
No, but she loved him.
She did, yeah. But now it's maybe she's one
But
of those.
now she's all about Hannibal, so he can do no wrong.
And then when Will's like, well, then when it's the whole thing's nuts. So then when Will's free, and Will's like, I'm free, right? Because yeah, you're free, but you tried to kill Hannibal.
Yeah.
So I don't like
Defending her
you.
boyfriend.
Like, well, wait a minute.
Don't be mean to my boyfriend.
All that crap I said.
Ugh.
I said Hannibal's bad. I'm free. It wasn't me. I come out
Everything
and you're like,
I've said
yeah.
is the truth.
Right.
So now she's been.
Why? I was wondering why they threw her in the interrogation room with Hannibal.
Oh,
Of all
because they
people.
got to get Hannibal to talk, and she'll feel comfortable talking to Alana Bloom.
I feel like the pool that they have to
You-
pick
you would
from
think-
is so
I know.
small and shallow.
Your FBI is very much smaller than the FBI we have here on planet Earth. Whatever you have,
This is
very
all they
small.
got, just there.
We have lots.
That's okay. I don't know. I like that Alana was there.
Here's my problem with
Yeah.
Alana Bloom. Now she's going to validate her choice to the end of the earth. So I've gone to bed with Hannibal. So now I cannot possibly acknowledge on any level that I'm wrong. So I'm going to validate Hannibal, which just makes her the most insipid kind of person, and I have no patience for it, which makes me angry because it makes her seem like less of an interesting character.
Do we think that
Yeah,
Alana
it
Bloom?
does-
Like if she gets hit by a truck right now, I'd be like,
Well, I just hope that she intellectually comes around and not, gets just has to see Hannibal chopping up something and be like, oh, "You are the murderer." I mean, I hope that she
so we need a cleaver scene. Is that what you're saying?
No, I just hope that she I hope she comes to this really thinks it through. It's like, you know what? Yeah, Hannibal's a bad guy, rather than either.
I mean, is he brainwashing her? Is he hypnotizing her?
That was one of the notes I saw on the
She's
internet.
dickmatized,
Someone
that's
said,
for sure.
She's what?
"Dude,
I believe Julia Cearley has coined a phrase. Alana Bloom has been dignitized.
dickmatized."
Oh, that is my favorite new
Good
thing.
night, everyone. We'll see you next week. Yes.
Oh, add that to Hannibal's, add that to Hannibal's list of skills.
Let me.
I was
Yes.
just talking about
I am
her
adept at
credibility.
dignitizing.
There goes
All right.
mine.
There goes your
There
There
we
goes
go.
That's
mine.
beautiful.
I just joined the ranks of Alana Bloom.
All right. Good thing Lemieux wasn't in here to
No, Lemieux wouldn't. He would not be happy.
Where did that come from? Sorry,
that happened. So yeah, so
internet.
Bloom, it's all right. So Bloom is so she's delusional. She's delusional.
She's
apparently.
dignitized.
We'll see. So let's
Oh, that's
talk about
beautiful.
Chilton. I mean,
R.I.P.
Lemieux said earlier, we were talking about this off mic and off camera, and Steve Lemieux was saying that, if I think that Hannibal's trying to kill me, and I walk into my crib and I hear the heart monitor beep, beep, I just
You
keep
go
running.
outside.
Bone
You,
out.
you call. You break out.
He should be halfway through the Nevada desert by now. You
Yeah.
just turn
on
and you
the
run.
cell phone, there's a heart monitor in my bed. No, I'm out of here. I think it's Hannibal.
That's it. If he can afford that ultra modern, super slick house with the basement and all
Yeah,
the
it's a nice crib.
that's it. He can
really
afford
nice.
somebody to follow him around. You can hire a bodyguard for that kind of money.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's a cheaper way to go. Hire a bodyguard.
also noticed that Chilton was wearing the, he was wearing the plaid, just a plaid sports coat, very smart plaid sports coat, not the plaid triple.
Windsor.
Well, Hannibal,
three-piece.
three-piece, yeah. Hannibal always wears a three-piece,
Yes.
the plaid three-piece, which Brian Fuller loves so much. But Chilton was wearing the baby Hannibal outfit.
He's always Hannibal-like.
It was you couldn't quite get the vest and the pants, but
If you don't want to get all the calories of real Hannibal, have Hannibal-like.
I thought he looked very smart for his last appearance there. So yeah, what about that? I mean, that was a terrifying moment. I mean, of screen, definitely of in terms of a thriller or whatever we want to expect from the show Hannibal. But there was a yelling at the screen moment, like, turn around and run. But, he went down there, saw the heart monitor. I mean, did you guys know or think what that could possibly be? When you heard the heart monitor, what did you think, Nando?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I guess I thought it was that.
Did you really?
I don't know. I feel like I thought it was. I don't know. Well, I wasn't sure.
Oh my God, poor Gideon. Oh.
Poor Gideon, the mass murderer?
Oh God. Oh, what a way to go, though. He's still alive all this time. How many times has he been fed to himself?
Yeah, it looked like he was drunk, though. Like he drugged him. Maybe, he gave him a...
He had a lot to eat there.
Yeah, ooh.
It wasn't just the leg that he had.
Oh,
no, he'd had more of himself.
Yes.
It was a rough scene, man. But did he clay bake it? That's really the question.
I don't know.
Was he cooking with clay? Lois Elfman hit us up on Twitter. She wanted to remind us that because we said bring a buddy to Hannibal's house, and she said apparently even when you bring a buddy, sometimes it doesn't matter.
That's very true.
She was talking about the 2 FBI guys.
Yeah, he's like, that's the FBI.
Yeah.
That's it. We brought a buddy, but it didn't help.
Those guys, yeah.
FBI, listen, if you come to the door, if you see Spaceman Spiff coming to the door, pull your piece, because it's going to get bad.
Yeah.
Oh, that was that. It's cool we didn't get to see how Hannibal dispatched those 2 FBI agents, but we know that he's perfectly capable of doing that.
And that ultimately, like I said earlier, that is why I don't think the Dr. Chilton thing would have held up. He is physically incapable of doing the things that Hannibal's physically able to do.
Right.
You can't pick up a big guy like that.
Well, that's the other thing. Like, if you look at Hannibal physically, and he's definitely sort of a physical specimen, and look at sort of Crap Weasel Chilton, especially post, Gideon dies.
No chance.
Like, there's got to be some calculation that says this guy can't be the Chesapeake Ripper because, physically he can't do these things.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Jack's got to look at it.
Hopefully Zeller and Price will figure that out.
And did they ever stop to think, why would the Chesapeake Ripper do this in his own house? And in such a messy way.
Right, without...
That's not his MO at all.
He was about to get caught.
All the same.
Yeah,
he still ran. He wasn't going to be caught if he was the real Chesapeake Ripper.
Well, I think that Jack. It looks like from the previews, and I hate to talk about the previews in the show that we're talking about because it's kind of dumb, but I'll do it anyway. It looks like in the previews that Jack and Will are sort of buddying it up here, Starsky and Hutching this whole thing. They're kind of like, it looked as if they are clear that we're going after Hannibal, so let's us two go after Hannibal, and it feels like the back half of the season is going to be Will and Jack trying to trip Hannibal up. And then that I think that's very interesting.
So you're saying they're half a step right now from running up, diving over the hood of the car, and climbing in the window.
Yes, they are. Well, you're doing a mix.
I'm mixing Dukes of Hazzard
and Starsky and Hutch.
I'm combining all three of them right now.
The Dukes of Hutch ski.
I'm just picturing Lawrence Fishburne diving across the hood of a. It's going to go badly. There's no way. He's a full size individual.
Morpheus can do anything.
Morpheus can.
But my point to even bring that up is I think that we're yet to see next episode. The results of because we always see Zeller and Price and those guys and Will even dissecting this whole thing. I would like to see Will go to that crime scene, go to the Ripper crime scene, and to be able to say, yeah, this is my design, this is what I did, but this clearly isn't. This isn't. Chilton couldn't have done this. I feel like that scene is coming, Joe.
It's got to, yeah.
Because I think that Will be able to figure that out. So,
do we ever think about how much equipment Hannibal moves around for these stagings?
That's a lot of equipment.
What is he driving?
That's what doesn't he have a Jag, right?
I don't.
I mean, he set up that whole room in Chilton's basement, that whole medical surgical room.
Yeah.
All these stabby things. I don't know.
His Jag is modified with a Mary Poppins trunk. That's basically he can shove anything he wants into his Jag.
He does roll with a lot of serial killer accoutrement.
Yeah.
Like just ready to go. It's a lamp.
It's a lamp.
Practically perfect in every way.
That's right. Aw, Mary Poppins.
Mary.
We love her.
We do.
So yes, I don't know. I mean, I want to talk just R.I.P. to Chilton. Because. We talked about this earlier, but he's not in in the books. He's in the books and he's in the films, so that was a shocker to see him go like that. I mean, was everyone as shocked as I was, or were you like, yeah, Chilton's gonna go?
No, I was shocked. I mean, we said it a couple of weeks ago. That perfect analogy about Chilton being the hyena to the king of the jungle, just always there to tease and whatever. And one day, the king will swat him. But apparently it wasn't really so much that. It was there was an agenda the whole time.
You know, when I saw him in the
Yeah, the
same
lion was
outfit,
framing
in the
the lion.
same room, the same cuffs as we've been watching Will this entire season thus far, there was a moment where I thought, are we really going to do this? We're just going to switch the guy?
Yeah.
Is the second half of the season
That's-
just the guy, another guy?
That's what I thought.
Trying to convince us all he's innocent?
I'd watch that show.
I would still watch it, but I was like,
I'm
all
like,
right.
okay, Chilton's a guy in there, and they're gonna go visit Chilton now.
Who's next? Is
And
what
then
I was thinking.
Hannibal's gonna
Is
be
it
an
gonna be
open.
Jack
Alana, then
next?
Alana, then
Yeah, let's all suit up and get in
Right?
the
We
cage.
just play musical cages. Yeah. That's what we do.
Therapy cages.
Therapy cages.
then Jack puts himself in there.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
My turn. I want to play. I want to play.
Yeah.
I thought that's where it was going. But you know.
Yeah, this I did not see.
What else? What else is missing here? That's pretty. So Miriam Lass is what do we think is going to happen with Miriam? I mean, clearly she is not in her right mind. Clearly, I feel like Jack and Will both believe that, you know, Hannibal or someone or the Chesapeake Ripper has gotten to her in some capacity. So, I mean, even that chilling moment where she got to hear her own phone call, over and over again, which I have to ask, was that? So, does that mean that call was the product of her being hypnotized and told to make that call, or was that?
That's
really
what I was
her?
going to say.
It felt like,
that's a good question.
Yeah, because right when she was hypnotized, she went right back into that exact same thing. It was almost like she
Said
was
it the
on
exact
cue.
same way.
Exact same way.
It's like she was triggered.
Yes. So I don't, and also, does anybody get suspicious where, like, when Hannibal's like, well, maybe let's hypnotize her, and they put the light on it, and it's like zapping away, and
Yeah.
it's the same. And
I
she's
thought that was
like-
weird because Jack's right there witnessing this whole thing too, and I
And you
just
see
thought,
what effect she had. It's almost like, oh, I get it.
I would think, you see this again, I would think that if Hannibal or when Hannibal kills again, because he was a major suspect, it was him or Chilton, and there was evidence that proved both. They could have been either, and they went for Chilton. That if the next murder that happens, Hannibal's a prime suspect again.
Well, that's the question.
Besides Will and Jack having this little game trying to figure it out, I would have to think Hannibal needs to be on his best behavior for a while.
Of course he does.
I would think that Hannibal would not want to do any Chesapeake Ripper murders anymore because that would clearly all
that would
eyes
negate
would go to
all
him.
this.
Although
That would negate his master design.
he can't help himself, it seems, because he
Exactly.
can't help just when he think he's a master of, well, you think you got the Ripper, well, you don't, but it's not me, because all evidence says it's not me, but he's still out there. Is it Will? Is it Jack? Like, so it'll be interesting to see how he does this, because Hannibal will kill again, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we
Well, he might just change his way of doing it.
6 episodes left.
He might just find another way to artistically express himself through the
Right.
murder of innocent people.
I mean, man's got to eat.
Man's
Man's
got to
gotta
eat.
I mean, he's got to eat. He's got.
Listen, he's not a heathen. He's not going to go to the
That's a
store and
good
buy
point.
food.
What's he gonna do?
What's he gonna do? Starve?
The Jack in the Box? He's got.
No,
No.
no.
Jack in
This is
the
a
Box.
Hannibal Lecter.
That might have been never mind, a Jack.
It seemed like we got excellent. Yeah.
Fishburne. Anyway.
Now, what do you think? What do you think's going to happen with Will and Hannibal in therapy? What do you think those sessions are going to be? Because he came at his regular time.
Yeah.
He wants his slot back.
It's back to
And
It's
Hannibal.
adorable,
Wait a
new
second.
haircut.
Hannibal had left. Yeah. I don't know if I liked it as much. I like it.
Well, I think he's Hannibaling up a little bit, you know.
Yeah,
a little
he's tightening
more
up the situation.
Messy mop,
Maybe a
a nice
little
button-up
scissor.
shirt. I think it's proving like, I kind of want to be like you after all.
I'm not a
Let's,
convict anymore.
Yeah, let's work this out.
Let me
then.
ask you guys this. It was interesting to me. Hannibal left the slot open, never filled it with a new patient, and he was not surprised at all when Will did show up. So what do we think therapy is going to be about?
It's about it's a expanded version of what we saw in the cell, between Hannibal and Will, but it's really an expanded version of what we saw when Will pulled the gun on Hannibal. And that moment, that's that one moment I talked about when he says, "You won't know how this ends." It's like something clicked with Will, like, this is a worthy, both these guys feel that they're worthy adversaries or opponents of each other. There is a true affection for each other as friends. There's a respect for each other's minds, the way they think. There is a bit of like a worthy opponent. Both of them knows that each of them is a worthy opponent. So it's the ultimate gamesmanship for both of them. So I feel like, Hannibal's like, this guy, he could kill me. He could probably don't kill me. But by going back to therapy, this is Will's chance to sit down man to man and really just have it out with Hannibal and play the game.
Let me ask you this. Now we talked last season a lot about the reason that Hannibal was into Will. And I think what I came up with last season, what I think worked for me in understanding it, was that Will was the only person who could truly appreciate and understand what Hannibal was doing.
Right.
Right, because he appreciated and understood every killer that they worked through, and he understood
does.
why
That's what he does.
right
The empathy.
So the empathy for the killer and the understanding of why the killer did it this way and what was trying to be achieved by the killer. So Hannibal can be understood and appreciated by Will. But what is Will going to get out of it now? Like, I understand what Hannibal. I get what Hannibal's game is, because he'll get someone who truly appreciates what he's done when it's all said and done.
I mean, I'll let you guys can say, but Will's gonna get the satisfaction of being able to go. No, I can go toe to toe with Hannibal, and I beat this guy. That's the first thing. And I think the more practical thing is, like I said, from the
I get my sanity back.
Exactly, as the previous alluded to. I think this is him and Jack going after Hannibal. Like, him and Jack are going to go after Hannibal. Let me go inside and talk to this guy and get him back, get his guard down, and see if we can get him to screw up again, so we can get him. Like, I think in the previous, Jack even said, "I'll be there waiting for him," or something like that.
I also feel he feels the need to gain control over his life and his own brain again. And now that he's out in the open and he is vulnerable to Hannibal or anyone out there, this is him taking control of that, facing it head first with a sane and sound mind.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, one thing I want to put up about what Will sees in Hannibal too is that when Will went to see where Miriam was being held, he said when he looked down in the well, tried to figure everything out, he goes, "No, this isn't theater, or this is theater." All of Hannibal's deaths, killings, have been theatrical.
Right.
And there's, it's funny. I've just been reading Tim Ferriss's book, The 4-Hour Chef, which is a great book, by the way, and it talks about different kinds of restaurants and different kinds of chefs. And there are those that cook or they create food just so people can eat.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And there's those who do it just to get the flavors. In other words, you're eating. It's eating like to fill yourself for sustenance, as opposed to eating because you like the taste of something. Something's delicious. But then there are those chefs. But then there are those chefs who it's all an art form. It really is theatrical. Like, you go to those major places, you don't even know what you're eating, but just the design. And ultimately, that's what Hannibal is, and that's what it is to Will. Will is enraptured, entranced by this because it is art to him, and that's something to look at too.
I like it. I'll buy it. We gotta wrap up here because we're up against it. But I do want to get into some predictions.
And now your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
I'm gonna go old school and go Julia.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
All right.
I'm ready.
Let's do this.
Do it.
Bring it.
Okay.
Bring it.
I think that Will is going to find a way to lure Dr. Bedelia du Maurier out of hiding.
Ooh.
Because she's the one who knows. She's the only one that we know is alive, besides Abigail, which I know is alive. I know it. She's the one who knows that Hannibal is this monster, and she believes Will, and it will also lure Hannibal out of his good boy behavior that he's going to be on, that he has to be on since the Chesapeake Ripper is supposedly dead.
Flippo. I like that.
I'm going to say that Alana Bloom has 2 episodes left. I think Alana is
Over
going...
under Alana Bloom is 2 episodes.
That's where I'm at.
I'm gonna give her 3, but go ahead.
I think 2 episodes, maybe 3, but I think 2. And I think that's going to be part of the fulcrum, part of the what tips things is Hannibal's going to mess with Will by whacking Alana, who is currently
She's stigmatized.
she's stigmatized.
All right. We got it. Nando.
That's my favorite new thing.
I think that there's a lot more to Miriam that's going to happen, and I think just kind of like let me put it this way: according to Hannibal's plan, Miriam did her. She's useful up to a certain point,
Yep.
and she, if you think about it, is she wasted now? Is it over?
I
don't think so. I mean, you know what I'm trying to say? He wants to use her up. And I feel like maybe there's a little bit more than just Stockholm Syndrome. I almost feel like she's simpatico with Hannibal.
Oh, I see.
I think she's a little more, I think she knows a little bit more than she's letting on, or she's been hypnotized maybe a little more than we're let on to know.
I like that too.
Powerful
I agree. I think the back half of the season we're gonna see. Okay, I think the back half of the season we're gonna see Hannibal have to start really cleaning up all the loose ends, and I think the loose ends include Miriam. Unfortunately, now maybe Miriam serves more purpose, so she's more of a mentoring candidate than we let on, and she has more sleeper cell stuff to do. But I think ultimately
She might also have been,
all right, we got it. But I think that starting with Miriam, and then maybe with Dr.
Du Maurier.
Maurier. Can never say it. She'll have to She'll have to clean up that too. But I think that the fact that Hannibal having to clean up his mess and starting to kill again to clean up his mess will get Will and Jack ultimately closer to catching him, which will result into the fight that we saw at the beginning of episode 1. That clearly it's episode 13. That's my prediction. That's what I got. I'm Joe Braswell. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Joe K. Braswell. Nando, where can we find you?
You can find me drinking lots of hot tea with lemon. And on Twitter at Nandovel, Nandovel.
Oh, spell it.
Nandovel. And on Orphan Black, which starts tomorrow for us. We're doing a preview.
Great.
So.
Flippo.
You can find me on the Twitters at Joe Flippo, JoeFlippo, and my website is josephsanfilippo.com.
Julia.
Twitter and Instagram at my name, Julia Cearley, JuliaCearley. Follow me.
Thanks for tuning in, Fanables. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching on YouTube. Thanks for downloading us on iTunes. We will see you next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.